Welcome back, my A23 crew. We are here for chapter one of our newest book, The Littles and the Lost Children. So if you remember from our... Ollie. I'm trying to read here. Hey guys, welcome back for chapter one of The Littles and the Lost Children. We read our prologue, which was the introductory chapter of our book, and learned that Uncle Nick is going to be the one telling this story. He wrote his own little book all about this story about the small fries, and he's going to read it to his family. So that's what we're going to be listening to. We have a new guest reader, our very first guest reader of our new book. Let's see, what hints can I give you about her? She is seen in some of your marine science classes. Not all of you have her in marine science, only a few of you have her in marine science. She regularly comes into our classroom to steal our almond milk. And she is a blonde bombshell. So who do you think it is? Let's read and find out. Chapter 1. The Small Fries were a tiny family. They lived in a mud house near the top of Smoke Mountain. The Small Fries and their neighbors, 10 other hill tiny families, lived in a village of mud houses. All the houses faced south to catch the sun's rays coming from the southern sky. The hill tinies lived in the woods among the animals. They were friendly with many of them, and some animals even worked for the tiny people. But other animals were dangerous, especially the meat-eating animals. A 2-inch long shrew could, and would if it had the chance, make a meal out of a hill tiny. In the village of mud houses, everyone had a craft. One family made furniture, another made pottery of all kinds, others farmed and provided food for the village. Some made clothes. Instead of going to stores as big people did, the hill tinies traded with each other. In that way, everybody got what they needed without making everything themselves. The craft the Small Fries worked at was the making of fabrics. They made cloth, felt, lace, and because Mother Lynn Small and Father Len Fry, the Small Fries, were artists, their fabrics were as beautiful as they were well made. It was Father Len's job to find the leaves, berries, and roots from which to make the colored dyes, and he gathered other materials that were needed to spin the thread for the cloth. Mother Lynn did most of the weaving in the workshop at the back of the mud house. The Small Fries' house was halfway up a steep part of Smoke Mountain. The rear of the house was dug into the side of the hill, underground like a cave. So the workroom, though cozy and warm, always had to be lit by candles. Take it away, Mrs. Hool.
Hi guys, it's Mrs. Hool. I'm going to read you the next page in your book. Are you ready? As she worked at her loom, Mother Lynn kept her eye on her very young children, Winky and Tip. No, Tip. Mustn't pull on the thread. Look out, Winky dear. Don't get too near that candle. Oh my, it's getting harder to keep track of you two. Winky and Tip were 2 years old, born on the same day, but they weren't twins. Winky, the girl, was the Small Fries' daughter, but the boy Tip was really their nephew and Winky's cousin. Tip's parents had died in a mudslide just after he was born. Mother and Father Small Fry adopted him and were raising him as if he were their own child. To keep them out of trouble, as she worked, Mother Lynn gave the children an acorn top to play with. But Winky and Tip soon got bored with spinning the top and quietly toddled out of the workroom. Mother Lynn didn't see them go.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Hool, for joining us as our first guest reader in our new book. The two children went past their father, who was busy dyeing cloth at a big vat in the front room. He didn't see them either. They went outdoors. The mud house was built on a rocky ledge, and the two children loved to stand near the edge and look down at the big valley far below. Big Valley, said Winky, pointing down. Her cousin smiled. He had not yet learned to speak, though he knew and used some words. The tiny girl walked right to the very edge of the rocky ledge. It was a long 3-foot drop to the ground below. Tip came up behind Winky and bumped her accidentally. She teetered on the edge and started to fall. Yikes, So that's our very first chapter of The Littles and the Lost Children. So you guys have an assignment in our Google Classroom. Click on the Google form. You'll have some reading comprehension and vocab comprehension questions and a little prediction to answer. And yeah, that is it. We've got a whole bunch of awesome guest readers lined up for our new book. So stay tuned for chapter 2. See you guys later.